So we can argue and have discussions all day long about what the best set in the SMV era is, but for me personally, it's 151. So at the very beginning of the video, I just want to touch on how well 151 is doing in Japan. As we can see here, I do have the Japanese 151 booster box up on TCG Player. And if we look at the chart and the way it's going, it's absolutely flying right now. As we can see, almost 160 US dollars. Now to begin with, I'm not fully surprised because as we know, sort of around this time, a little bit later last year, sort of June, July-ish time, these were the sort of prices we were seeing just before we got news of a reprint around September, October time. The prices per booster box were sort of reaching 150, even pushing towards 180, even 200, until we got a reprint and things come crashing down because Japan went heavy with a reprint for this product. Now, on the subject of reprints that I just referred to, as we can see here in the background of this graph, you'll see these light blue bars that go upwards, and what these refer to, if you're not aware, is the volume of sales per date range. So as we can see, for example, this top bar here, as we can see, it says November 25th to December 1st, and it has the price, which is what we often look at. But if you look below that, it will say 239 items sold. Now, those reprints that we got news of was around sort of September, October time last year. Therefore, between October and December was when we've seen a lot of the products hit shelves and be bought and traded, etc, etc, which is why in that date range you'll see the highest bars. As you can see, the highest here being between November 25th and December 1st. That's right in the middle of when we've seen those stock hit shelves. But as you'll see, due to the popularity of this set, how fun it is to open, and how many people are also investing in this set, the amount that is being traded has gone down quite rapidly. As we can see right down here, in the last few days, March 24th to 27th, we've only seen 33 items sold, which if you compare to that big bar back here in the end of November, beginning of December, which was 239 items, that's a huge decrease. And therefore, due to the popularity of this set and how many items are being traded and also consequently being opened and ripped, it's not a surprise to see that decline, but not only to see that decline in the amount of items being sold, but also consequently the increase of this dark blue line here, which indicates the price. As you see, the less that's being sold due to the fact that more is being hoovered up, more is being consumed, more is being opened, or people are putting it aside to invest in, the less there is on the market, and therefore the demand is still there though. This is 151 we're talking about. This is a very desirable set, therefore the demand will always be there for this set due to how good it is. It's so fun to open as well, especially the Japanese version, which we'll get into in a bit. But it's no surprise at all that once that supply drops off, that demand is absolutely flying, as you'll see with that dark blue line there. So what I want to kind of jump onto now, while we're piggybacking off the back of the success of Japanese 151, I want to talk about the Japanese cards in general, because Japanese cards are so good. And I think they're massively underrated alternatives to the right now very overpriced English cards. So to begin with, as you'll see here beside me, I have a picture of the Iron Crown EX as well as the Japanese version of this card. Now this was simply a post found on Reddit, and I'll leave the link in the description. If you can't quite notice the difference very well due to the fact it's through a screen, go have a look at the post yourself and have a look at the difference between these two cards. And what you'll notice is the Japanese version of the card on the right there, the amount of texture and the amount of almost sparkle that you can see in the card is light years ahead of the English version. What it looks like is when you have that glitter that you play with as a kid, and if you sprinkle it on a bit of paper, the English version looks like someone's just picked up the paper and threw all the sprinkles off or the glitter off. But the Japanese version looks like it's kept some of that glitter, and therefore it pops so much more. The amount of texture, the amount of sparkle that the Japanese card has that the English one doesn't, it's crazy. I did just want to finish on that point by saying it's through a screen, it's quite difficult to notice the difference and really appreciate the difference. So what I would recommend doing, if you're thinking of picking up a certain card to your collection, an SIR card for example, go out and experiment with quite a cheap one, right? Go out and get an English version, go out and get a Japanese version of it, and look at them yourself in person side by side, and you'll really notice the difference. So guys, if you are enjoying the content and you also are a big fan of the Pokemon TCG, please feel free to go ahead and click that subscribe button. I really would love to have you here, and it's always awesome to interact with new people every single day. So whilst on the subject of the quality of Japanese cards being superior to those of English cards, we have the data to also back that up. As you'll see here, I have the figures up of the famous Umbreon from Evolving Skies, that being the Umbreon VMAX full art card, and we're looking at the penultimate line here. So this is the English stats, right? So as you'll see here, the total number of submissions I'll highlight here is 21,861. And the total number of PSA 10s that has been given is 16,052. Remember those stats, and let's look at the Japanese version. So the Japanese version is the bottom line here, and as you'll see, there's 7,198 submissions, and of those 7,198 submissions, 6,307 of them have been given PSA 10s. No, don't worry, I'm not expecting you to do the maths. I'll do that for you, and I'll put the figures up beside me. So first we have the Japanese Umbreon card, which has a conversion rate of 87.62%, whereas the English Umbreon card has a conversion rate of 73.42%. So these figures are pretty alarming, right? You'd expect them to be somewhat close, but there's actually over a 14% difference, with the Japanese conversion rate for a PSA 10 pushing 90%, and the English version only just reaches above 70%. It's a huge difference, and it's just one of many examples and the data that we have to support the fact that Japanese cards in regards to quality are far superior. Just jumping back to 151, I do want to talk about how fun this set is to open. As we can see here beside me, I brought up a picture from Reddit, and this is someone's pulls from an entire booster box, which, as we know, in Japanese, the booster boxes contain 20 packs. So as we can see here, you've got the Squirtle illustration rare and the Nidoking illustration rare. You've got the Blastoise SIR, you've got the Zapdos, Ninetales, Jinx, Golem, and Charizard regular EX cards, as well as the Charizard Full Art EX, the Mewtwo IR, which is a promo, of course, in the English UPC, as well as Staryu being the Masterball card. That was a mouthful, and that just shows just how many pulls you can get in one single booster box, which of course is 20 packs, as I just said. So that haul right there from 20 packs is really good, right? That's 11 hits right there in 20 packs, meaning technically one hit every less than 2 packs, which is brilliant, because as we know with 151 in English, I'd say the pull rates are relatively fair, although you can feel a little bit hard done by at times. You can easily go 4, 5, 6 packs and not pull anything. Therefore, the attraction with the Japanese side of things is that due to the guaranteed hits within every booster box, it's such a fun set to open. Just to show yet another example of someone's post on Reddit, this is 8 pulls right here. So as you can see next to me, I have the Psyduck, the Ivysaur, as well as the Pikachu illustration rare cards. You have the Full Art Mew EX card, as well as the Kangaskhan, Charizard, Ninetales, and Blastoise regular EX cards. And that's not even including the Master Ball that they would have inevitably got as well, which includes another hit, meaning 9 total cards is hits in 20 packs is more or less one hit every 2 packs, just like we've seen in the first example. And whilst I mentioned the reverse Masterball Holo card, let's not forget that the Japanese 151 set was the pioneering set for this type of card, and due to the level of success of that card, it has since been introduced into English with the Prismatic Evolutions set. The fact that it was the first set to introduce reverse Holo Master Ball cards means the Japanese 151 set has a huge level of significance. And the great thing about them was it opened another door to different types of collections that you could do, or instead of master sets, you could just go after those reverse Holo Master Ball cards, right? There's 153 of them that you can collect, and a lot of people went about collecting them either just in singles or graded slabs of them, and creating a complete collection of all of the reverse Holo Master Ball cards. Finally, on that Master Ball topic, I love the way they did it as well. I love the fact that it was 1 per booster box. There was no potentially 0 or potentially 2 or 3. It was, you know what you're getting, you're guaranteed 1 per booster box. Therefore, it was so fun opening one of these booster boxes. You knew in there somewhere in one of those packs that Master Ball card was waiting for you, but you don't know which one it was going to be. Maybe it was going to be the Gengar or the Pikachu, which, as some of you may know, are the 2 most expensive reverse Holo Master Ball cards that you can get. And the suspense that it would create, just waiting to see which one was waiting there for you in that box, just made it so fun. And not only that, talking about fun, it's also so fun knowing you're guaranteed hits, right? It's very kind of underwhelming and very displeasing when you open so many packs and you get almost nothing for it. The beautiful thing about the Japanese cards and the Japanese booster boxes is that by law they have to have a certain amount of guaranteed hits within it. Therefore, the beauty is when you open a box, you know you're okay, you might not get your money's worth or your money back, but you know you're going to get some really cool cards in there. So guys, that does conclude things for today. Let me know down below what you guys think of the Japanese cards in general, whether or not you guys collect Japanese cards or not, and whether you guys have happened to be able to open 151 and what your guys' thoughts are on it. I personally, as I said throughout this video and at the very beginning, it is my favorite of the SMV era due to that nostalgia and play. I really do like it, and I think it's a very enjoyable set to open. That will do it for today, guys. So thank you so much for being here. If you are still watching, I really do appreciate your support. Please don't hesitate to leave a like if you have enjoyed the video, and if you fancy watching a couple other videos of mine, you can watch this one right here, where I cover some products that have actually risen more than Evolving Skies in regards to percentage, or this one right here where I talk about, in my opinion, the most underrated set from the SMV era. Thank you so much for watching, guys. My name's Will, I've been PokeCharla, and I'll catch you in the next one.